Have you ever felt, well, just plain stuck? Like you're on a plateau, you're putting in the work, but you're not really changing in a deep way? Well, today we are diving into an absolutely powerful concept from a former Navy SEAL. It explains how to smash through those limits, not just by learning new skills, but by literally transforming who you are from the inside out. This is all about something called vertical growth.
So that's the opening line from our source material. The author is right in the thick of Navy SEAL training. And let me tell you, this is not just some intense workout program. It's a grueling 9-month crucible designed to forge the most elite operators on the planet. It tests everything. Your skills, sure, but also your character and your absolute will to keep going when every part of you is screaming to stop.
His class started with 185 trainees. Now you got to understand, these aren't just your average Joes. To even get to this point, every single one of them had already proven they were the best of the best, both physically and mentally, the absolute elite.
But then came Hell Week, the most brutal, infamous part of the training. And by the time it began, only 70 guys were left. Think about that. More than half the class was already gone, washed out by the relentless, non-stop pressure. And when all the smoke cleared at the end of the entire 9 months, just 19 men graduated. 19! That insane level of attrition really sets the stage for this incredible story about one candidate, a guy no one, and I mean no one, thought would make it, a man they nicknamed the Hora.
So, the Hora, he was fit, he could do the work, but he just seemed to be getting by, almost like he was sleepwalking through the training, just slipping through the cracks. The author was absolutely convinced this guy wouldn't survive Hell Week. I mean, we're talking 6 straight days of pain, freezing cold and exhaustion, with almost zero sleep.
And sure enough, on the 5th day, it happened. They get woken up from a tiny 40-minute nap by machine guns and screaming instructors. And the Hora, he just short-circuited. His brain completely shut down. He was walking into walls like a zombie, totally unresponsive, while all his classmates are scrambling into the freezing ocean. It was over for him.
The medics sighed right away. He was a liability. So they load him into a medical van to haul him away and drop him from the course. And just like that, his journey, his dream of becoming a SEAL, it was finished. The crucible had finally broken him.
But then, something inside him just snapped. Lying in the back of that van, he has this lightning bolt of clarity. He realizes his one shot is slipping through his fingers. So as the van stops, he flings the door open, tucks into a perfect roll on the pavement, and sprints back to the beach, diving right back into the surf to rejoin his team. The instructors, they were just stunned. They just watched him. You see, they were looking for uncommon resolve, and they had just witnessed it in the most dramatic way possible.
Now, that moment, that wasn't just a lucky surge of adrenaline. No way. It was a sign of a profound internal shift, a real transformation that our source calls vertical growth. And honestly, understanding the difference between these two types of growth is the absolute key to unlocking your own potential.
So let's break this down. On one hand, you have horizontal growth. This is what we usually focus on, right? Adding new skills, learning a new piece of software, becoming more efficient at our jobs. It's all about doing better. But vertical growth, that's about being better. It's a total evolution of your character, your perspective, and your awareness of the world around you. You can think of it like fundamentally upgrading your internal operating system. You don't just solve problems differently, you actually see the problems differently. It's like you're climbing a ladder to a higher vantage point, and from up there, your decision-making just becomes more complex, more compassionate, and a whole lot wiser.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we start climbing our own ladder? Well, the model is actually beautifully simple. It all comes down to 3 essential pillars that work together to trigger this kind of deep, transformative growth.
And here they are. The 3 keys are challenge, variety, and mentors. That's it. It's a super simple framework you can apply to pretty much any area of your life. So let's break each one of these down.
First up, challenge. Look, real growth never, ever happens in the comfort zone. It happens when we voluntarily choose to embrace discomfort to break our old weak patterns. And this isn't about some huge heroic act every single day. It's about the compounding power of just trying to get 1% better daily. And it's about consistently mastering those foundational mental skills, like breathing and focus, that let you handle stress and stay in the game.
The second key is variety. Getting stuck in the same old routine with the same people, doing the same tasks, well, that's a surefire way to stay stuck on that plateau. Variety, exposing yourself to new ideas, new cultures, even new roles. Like, choosing to be a follower when you're used to leading. That's what builds new neural pathways and really expands your perspective. It shakes things up.
And number 3, you absolutely cannot do it alone. You need mentors and coaches. So, a mentor is someone who has already walked the path you're on. They can offer wisdom from their experience. A coach, on the other hand, has specific skills to help you nail your goals. They hold you accountable and push you way beyond the limits you would have set for yourself.
All right, so let's make this super practical. How do you actually start applying this framework and climbing your own ladder of vertical growth? Well, it all starts with taking an honest look at your daily life.
Seriously, where are your ruts? Where have you settled into comfort? Is it that mindless scrolling on your phone for hours? Is it a habit of saying yes to everything and overcommitting? Maybe it's a reactionary emotional pattern that keeps damaging your relationships. The very first step is just to identify the one pattern that's holding you back the most.
You don't have to completely overhaul your life overnight. That's not the point. Just pick one pattern, one thing to focus on, and then challenge yourself to do the exact opposite. Use the crawl, walk, run principle. Start small, build some momentum, and then steadily, day by day, break free from that rut.
So what happens when you actually commit to this process? Let's go back to the Hora one last time. 24 years after that insane day in Hell Week, the author just happens to run into him in a museum in Florence. And the man he met, he was no longer that dazed kid. He was a Master Chief, the highest enlisted rank there is. He was poised, sharp, articulate, a truly integrated, world-centric leader, completely transformed by decades of challenge, variety, and mentorship.
The Hora's awakening in that van was the catalyst that changed his entire life. It proves that our deepest, most profound transformations often begin right at our breaking points. So, the real question I want to leave you with is this. What comfort zone do you need to challenge? What old pattern is it time to finally break? What awakening is waiting for you?